Hello everyone and welcome to our Hispanic Heritage Month cooking demo. We've got Andy and Anna joining me today. I'm Chef Lydia Gonzalez. We're going to be making albóndigas, meatballs a la mexicana. And a la mexicana just basically means we're going to be using some jalapenos, some onion, and some tomatoes as we're going to be incorporating it into the meatball. And the reason it's called a la mexicana, obviously, it's because it's the color of the Mexican flag. So this meatball recipe, you've got a pound of ground beef here. We've got a half a cup of breadcrumbs. We're going to do one egg. I brought extra eggs just to make sure they didn't break in transport. We're not doing scrambled eggs. Of course, the salt, pepper, and I've got some fresh garlic here. And then we'll be chopping the onions and the jalapenos. And then, of course, we've got the cilantro. And we serve it with a salsa verde, and then I also have a spicy barbecue sauce. Everything's a little spicy today okay. As we go through Hispanic Heritage Month. Now, one of the things I want to talk to you real quick before we get slicing and dicing, and actually you guys can get started on the onion if you want. We want a small dice on the onion. So slice away, you have a sharp knife. There really is no way to cut an onion. Everyone's always talks about you have to cut it this way, you have to cut it that way. One of the things I want to talk to you really quickly is about a little bit of the history of the tomatoes. Do you guys know where the tomatoes are native to? Anna? No, Andy?
Mexico.
Mexico, yes. And they had different names for it. They did call it la fruta del diablo. The Catholic Church thought that it was really strange. They also called it a love apple. So it's really interesting. So the native language of Nahuatl, this was called a xitomalt.
Xitomalt.
Xitomalt. So there were well over 50 dialects spoken in throughout Mexico, Central America, and parts of South America before the Europeans came over. But most of the people in Mexico and Central America spoke the Nahuatl. That was like the common language. So it's really, really fascinating. I love to, to ask people if they know where the native ingredients come from. Okay, so let's move on with our cooking here. So what we want to do is let's add about half of those chopped onions to your pound of ground beef. You can pick it up with your hands, however you would like. We're gonna now also chop up about half of that tomato. What we're gonna do after everything is cut is we're gonna season it. And any other, if you want to add either the serranos or the jalapenos, it's totally up to you guys as to what you want to put in there. Look at those knife skills. All right, yes.
Thank you.
And again, just making sure that you have a really, really sharp knife because you don't want it to slide. Okay, he's going for the jalapeno.
And you want how much?
I would say a quarter of that. You could take out the seeds if you don't want it that spicy. So you just, a fine dice. Yep, Andy's got it right there. And so then we're going to add one egg to it, and then we're going to, you're going to put a lot of spice in there. Oh, you took out the seeds anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
did you say put one egg?
Yes, we're going to put one egg in there, and pinch of salt, pinch of pepper. I would do like two pinches of salt. At least the recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt, and I'm sure that you guys have the recipe as well, that we're going to email the recipe to everyone, so you'll have it at your disposal. Okay, and we're going to then a pinch of pepper. You got that?
Yes.
And then let's get the breadcrumbs in there. So this is half a cup of breadcrumbs.
The whole thing?
Yep, the whole thing. It's half a cup of breadcrumbs, and then we're going to smoosh it all together. This comes the fun part. This is where you can get your kids involved as well in the kitchen. Get them to make the meatballs. I'm going to turn on the pan here for just a bit. And you want to make sure your pan is nice and hot. Then you add the oil, and then you add your ingredients. Whatever it is that you're cooking, whether it's chicken or you're making a meatball, pork chops, whatever the case may be. So we're going to do this as a appetizer size meatballs, little ones, so that we can cook them in the pan. We're going to put a little oil in here, and we'll be able to just roll the meatballs. You can just set them on the cutting board until the pan gets a little hotter. So no one added serrano, so it's all the same meatballs here. So we're going to put a little bit of oil in here, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. And we'll put the meatballs in here. Okay. Put a glove on. And this is something that you can do the day before. Oh yeah, we hear a little sizzle. There we go. And a pound, surprisingly, we've got 6. These are about 1.5 inches or so. So you'll probably get about 18 meatballs out of a single pound, which really goes a long way.
Good for a party.
Great. They're great for a party. As I said, you can make these meatballs the day before, have them already rolled up, and on a baking sheet, cover it up, put it in the oven, take them out the next day, and pop them in the oven. For me,
keep them in the fridge the night before.
Keep them in the fridge the night before, and when we've had to do events where we're making literally 600 meatballs, we're all dreaming about making meatballs, because we make everything in house. It really makes it so much easier if you're entertaining. So I think that we're going to put one more meatball in here, guys, and not to crowd the pan. You could do it stovetop, and again, you could do it in the oven. So it just depends on what you prefer. For these meatballs, if we, once they get a little brown on one side, you can see that you'll just have to turn them if you're doing them stovetop.
Okay.
The other thing that really helps when you're doing the meatballs stovetop is we put a lid on it, and so the steam and everything really helps to be able to cook them off. And it should take about 15 to 20 minutes in the oven. And again, depending on the size of your meatball, that's why I suggest to everyone to get a digital thermometer so that you can use that whenever you would like. So as the meatballs are cooking away, one of the things that we want to be able to teach people is that cooking is not that difficult. I mean, do you cook on a regular basis, Anna? Yeah. You do? Okay, good. You want to come over and help? No. One of the things that we're doing, I founded the Latino Culinary Institute and Association, and we're doing culinary workforce training because we want to be able to get people into the culinary industry. We've had a workforce shortage for a long time, and want to be able to teach people the basics. And currently, if you have a day job and you want to get into the culinary field, you can go and knock on the door of a local restaurant, and they'll go, "Sure, we always need someone to help us clean tables and do dishes." So those are generally the two areas where you will start. And so what we're doing is that we're launching a culinary program where we're teaching the basics. It's a 12-week program. They come in a couple days a week, and at the end, we're going to give them a certificate. And we're targeting moms with school-age kids because they drop off their kids at school, then they come and train with us a couple of days, and who knows, hopefully they'll be able to get a job at the kids' school. You just never know. I'm smelling some meatballs. Are you guys smelling meatballs? Are you guys ready to taste? I think we have got someone who's going to join us in tasting the meatballs and be our taste tester over here. Mr. Alex is going to join us. So we have these delicious meatballs, and you can see we've got the tomatoes in there, the onion, a little bit of jalapeno, and we have 2 sauces. So it depends on what you guys like to taste. I've got a green sauce over here and a barbecue sauce that you can taste, and it is a spicy barbecue sauce, so help yourself, whichever you would like to try. And
do I have one of Anna's and one of Andy's, or are these the special?
No, these are
chef approved ones.
These are the special chef approved ones that were done in our commercial kitchen. This is as a cooking demo.
Okay, so no blind taste testing.
No blind taste testing. Yes. So with the barbecue sauce, what I did is I just put a little bit. Get your favorite barbecue sauce You want to add a little spice to it. All you have to do is add a little bit of chipotle, get a small little can of chipotle peppers, and just add it to the barbecue sauce as you see fit. How's the salsa verde?
It's excellent. Really good. Nice little bite to it.
It's good. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm eating the meatball.
You're eating the meatball, yes. And
Want to try it plain?
yeah, you can, you don't generally have to add a sauce to it, but because of the...
Ooh, salsa verde is amazing.
Thank you. That is my roasted tomatillo salsa.
Oof.
And it's got a little, it's like a medium plus, as I tell
it's
people
perfect,
on
yeah.
the spice level. So you could do, again, you could do this Italian style, you could serve it as an appetizer, or serve it as a main meal.
That's excellent. Very good.
Delicious.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad, yes, the chef approved meatballs for everybody. We've got some for you guys as well. I really hope that everyone has enjoyed today's cooking demo. It's been wonderful to be here with you guys, and able to share something that's really, really simple. Get your kids involved, as I said, in the kitchen. You know, they like to play with their food. I think this is a perfect opportunity for them to play with their food. You can make albondigas with a little bit of tomato, onion, and put whatever ingredients you really want in there, and it really keeps the meatballs moist. I just want to say I'm just thrilled to be here, to be able to share with everyone out there just a little bit of that flavor. Get into the kitchen. Don't think it's too hard. And are you going to burn stuff? Are you going to burn stuff?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Even today, I still burn, for whatever reason, I always seem to burn the rice. I don't know why. I think it's because I walk away and I'm like, I'll turn it down in a bit as soon as the water boils, and then I get distracted. So now I've got somebody that's standing there. They now know that if I walk away from the stove to keep an eye on it.
Cover, yeah.
So we burn things will be, broken, but get into the kitchen, try your favorite recipes. You're never going to get it right the first time. Nobody ever really does, because it's a process. And once you learn that process, and once you figure out how your pots and pans work and your oven works, you'll be able to do some amazing, amazing meals. So thank you again, guys, for joining us. And thank you, guys. And we hope that you continue the celebration for Hispanic Heritage Month and have some of these wonderful dishes to share with your family.